9:14 in the morning, the northwest coast of the Kherson region. The waters of the Dnipro Delta are calm, masking the violent reality of the contested shoreline. Down at sea level, a Russian KS-701 Tunets patrol boat cuts through the morning mist, aiming for a secluded stretch of sand. Roughly half a dozen Russian soldiers are on board, prepping their gear, completely unaware that their fate is already being calculated from the freezing air above. 18,000 feet straight up, invisible to the naked eye and silent to the human ear, a Ukrainian Bayraktar TB2 drone is holding a steady orbit. It has been circling this exact grid square for 27 unbroken minutes. This is not a chaotic frontline firefight. This is the cold, calculated patience of modern remote warfare. The drone operator is sitting in a darkened control station hundreds of miles away, watching the unfolding scene through a state-of-the-art Canadian-made Wescom MX-15D multispectral sensor. While the soldiers below think they are operating in total stealth, the operator is currently watching their crisp, glowing human heat signatures move around the deck of the aluminum vessel in high-definition thermal imaging. The trap is already set, and the bait is blindly driving itself right into the kill zone. Drone warfare is a strange psychological paradox, characterized by hours of monotonous, mind-numbing surveillance that is suddenly punctuated by split seconds of extreme, irrevocable violence. The operator sitting at the ground control station has spent the morning staring at empty water, waiting for a single anomaly. At exactly 9:05 in the morning, that anomaly finally appeared on the screens. A thermal signature detached itself from the background clutter and began a deliberate run toward the Ukrainian-held shoreline. The operator quickly identified the vessel. It was a KS-701 Tunets, a small, agile aluminum patrol boat that was originally designed for routine Coast Guard duties and border enforcement. However, in this theater of war, Russian forces have desperately repurposed these light vessels into makeshift troop transports for rapid insertion missions. As the aluminum hull finally beaches on the sandy shoreline, the operator watches the soldiers immediately begin unloading heavy boxes of supplies. But they are making a fatal tactical error. Instead of dispersing into the nearby vegetation to secure the perimeter, the half-dozen personnel cluster tightly together right next to the hull, moving cargo shoulder to shoulder in the open. To the thermal sensor 18,000 feet above, they have just formed a massive, glowing target of concentrated body heat. The operator runs the math and counts the exact number of personnel on the beach, confirming that a hostile landing operation is actively underway deep inside contested territory. Under the strict rules of engagement, this group is a highly legitimate and immediate target, but pulling the trigger on a Bayraktar TB2 is never a unilateral decision made by a single person in a dark room. The operator immediately transmits the live feed to the command center of the Ukrainian 383rd UAV Brigade for a rapid threat assessment. The TB2 is carrying a lethal payload, but it only has 4 hardpoints. Each one of those hardpoints holds a precision-guided MAM-L missile that costs approximately $60,000. Dropping a $60,000 munition on a few soldiers and an aluminum boat requires serious justification, especially when a strike will instantly reveal to Russian electronic warfare units that a high-value drone is orbiting the sector. The brigade commanders scrutinize the live video feed, weighing the cost of the missile against the potential threat of the cargo being unloaded. The decision must be made in seconds before the soldiers disappear into the tree line. Command quickly concludes that this is no ordinary supply run. The elimination of a potential specialized sabotage team, along with their mysterious cargo, vastly outweighs the $60,000 price tag and the temporary exposure of the drone. Authorization to engage is granted instantly. The TB2 immediately breaks its lazy circular patrol pattern, banking sharply to align its nose for the optimal launch geometry. The operator takes manual control of the targeting system, needing to maintain an absolutely stable laser designation on the clustered troops below. The MAM-L is a terrifyingly efficient piece of engineering. It is a compact precision munition weighing exactly 23 kilograms, packed with a 10-kilogram high-explosive warhead that is specifically designed to punch through light armor and obliterate soft targets like personnel and unprotected vessels. But it is not a fire-and-forget weapon. It utilizes semi-active laser guidance, which means the drone operator must continuously paint the target with a laser beam for the entire duration of the missile's flight. The pressure on the operator is immense as the firing sequence is initiated. Just as the operator's finger hovers over the release mechanism, the seamless operation hits a terrifying wall. The targeting interface suddenly flickers, and the crucial laser designator drops its lock. A sudden software glitch threatens to ruin the entire ambush at the worst possible moment. Down on the ground, the situational dynamics are rapidly shifting. The soldiers, perhaps sensing that they have lingered in the open for too long, finally begin to disperse, grabbing their heavy crates and moving away from the water toward the dense, protective cover of the shoreline vegetation. The operator's heart races, forcing a frantic, high-speed recalibration of the optical hardware. With mechanical precision born of relentless training, the operator resets the sensor suite, and the laser designator hums back to life, projecting its invisible beam back onto the beach. At exactly 9:15 and 20 seconds in the morning, the operator makes the final commitment. The firing sequence completes, and the 23-kilogram MAM-L missile violently detaches from the drone's underwing hardpoint. For a split second, it falls away in dead silence before its guidance fins deploy, catching the freezing air at 18,000 feet. It does not possess a massive, smoking rocket motor that would immediately give away its position. Instead, it is a precision glide munition that slices downward through the atmosphere at terrifying speed. The operator's screen shows the targeting reticle locked dead center on the clustered troops and their mysterious tubular crates. Everything now depends on the unseen laser beam illuminating the beach. The operator holds their breath, their hands steady on the controls, knowing that the slightest twitch or software stutter over the next few seconds could send $60,000 of highly advanced ordnance splashing harmlessly into the Dnipro Delta. Down below, the world is quiet, but death is descending from the sky at hundreds of miles per hour. The Russian troops, still struggling with the heavy, elongated cargo, remain completely oblivious to the mathematical certainty that is rapidly closing the distance between them and absolute destruction. Panic instantly overrides their disciplined training. Through the thermal optics, the operator watches as the crisp, glowing human silhouettes suddenly scatter in chaotic directions. Some soldiers throw themselves violently into the sand, diving desperately toward the meager cover of the shoreline vegetation, while others instinctively raise their assault rifles skyward in a futile attempt to engage a threat they cannot even see. However, small arms fire is completely useless against a precision-guided munition traveling at terminal velocity. Yet, amidst the sudden terror, the thermal feed reveals something highly unusual. Instead of running for their lives, two of the Russian soldiers stubbornly refuse to abandon their cargo. They grab the handles of one of the heavy tubular crates and frantically attempt to drag it backward into the shallow water, prioritizing the mysterious equipment over their own survival. It is a fatal demonstration of discipline, signaling just how critical this specific cargo is to their hidden mission. At exactly 9:15 and 23 seconds in the morning, the MAM-L missile finds its laser-designated mark with terrifying pinpoint precision. The 10-kilogram high-explosive warhead slams directly into the center of the beached KS-701 Tunets patrol boat and detonates instantly. The kinetic force of the impact, combined with the explosive payload, effortlessly splits the thin aluminum hull right down the middle, transforming the agile vessel into a cloud of molten shrapnel and vaporized metal. The shockwave violently rips across the shoreline, instantly neutralizing the entire landing party before they can even reach the tree line. But the initial blast is not the end of the violent chain reaction. Almost immediately, a massive secondary explosion erupts from the center of the wreckage, completely dwarfing the original strike. On the high-definition optical feed, the operator watches as unusually bright, blinding flashes tear through the smoke, followed by thick, unnatural plumes of bright white vapor pouring into the sky. This is not the dark, oily black smoke associated with standard diesel fuel igniting, nor is it the rapid staccato popping of regular infantry ammunition cooking off. This specific chemical signature indicates something far more dangerous has just been triggered on the sandy beach. As the intense heat of the initial fireball slowly begins to dissipate, the high-resolution camera zooms in tightly on the burning crater that used to be a shoreline landing zone. Through the swirling white smoke and the twisted, blackened ribs of the destroyed patrol boat, the scattered remnants of the heavily guarded cargo are finally revealed. These are not standard artillery shells or infantry mortars. They are highly specialized, military-grade demolition charges, the exact type of high-yield explosives engineered specifically by combat engineers to systematically bring down massive, reinforced concrete structures. The sheer volume of the explosives that were crammed into the small vessel indicates a meticulously planned operation with catastrophic destructive potential, designed to inflict maximum structural damage rather than engage in standard infantry combat. The realization hits the Ukrainian command center like a physical blow. The intercepted KS-701 Tunets was never conducting a routine frontline supply run or a simple infantry rotation. This was a highly trained, dedicated Russian sabotage team, attempting to infiltrate contested territory under the radar. The sheer volume of the red-banded demolition charges scattered across the burning sand points to only one logical objective in this specific sector of the Kherson region. They were planning a catastrophic strike against critical civilian and military infrastructure, most likely targeting a major supply bridge or a massive hydroelectric dam along the Dnipro River. If those specialized explosives had been successfully planted and detonated, the resulting destruction would have severed vital logistical lifelines and potentially flooded entire surrounding communities. Instead, the sudden violent arrival of the 23-kilogram MAM-L missile has permanently erased both the highly specialized infiltration team and their devastating equipment from the battlefield in a fraction of a second, effectively aborting a major strategic catastrophe before the first explosive charge could even be armed. In the immediate aftermath of the catastrophic explosion, the invisible electronic spectrum above the river delta suddenly erupts into absolute chaos. Ukrainian electronic warfare units monitoring the regional frequencies detect an enormous, frantic spike in encrypted Russian communications originating from the surrounding area. Frantic distress signals and confused situational reports flood the airwaves as the Russian command desperately tries to understand what just vaporized their elite sabotage unit out of thin air. But the panicked chatter does not last long. Within minutes, the radio frequencies fall completely, terrifyingly silent. The abrupt quiet signals a grim realization within the Russian ranks that the covert mission has suffered a total and unrecoverable failure. There is no rapid reaction force scrambled, and absolutely no rescue helicopters are dispatched to the burning shoreline to search for potential survivors. The operation is immediately and ruthlessly terminated by the Russian command, forcing any remaining support forces in the vicinity to quietly withdraw into the shadows to avoid exposing themselves to the same invisible predator circling 18,000 feet above their heads. The drone operator, sitting hundreds of miles away from the smell of burning aluminum and detonated explosives, calmly types a few keystrokes to officially log the strike as a neutralized target. It is a profoundly sterile end to an incredibly violent event, underscoring the deeply impersonal and cold nature of modern remote warfare. Decisive, world-altering actions no longer require vast armies clashing in muddy trenches. They are instead executed through glowing screens, crosshairs, and digital control interfaces. A carefully planned Russian sabotage operation, which likely took weeks to organize and equip, was completely dismantled in mere seconds by a silent observer utilizing advanced multispectral sensors and a single precision-guided weapon. This brutal efficiency perfectly demonstrates the transformative and terrifying impact of unmanned aerial systems on the contemporary battlefield, where the deadliest threat is often the one you never hear coming until the exact moment the sky falls on top of you. The destruction of the red-banded demolition charges creates a massive strategic void in the Russian offensive capabilities along the southern front. When you vaporize a highly specialized combat engineering team and their custom-built ordnance in a fraction of a second, you do not just delay a single mission. You effectively paralyze an entire operational timeline. These elite units require years of intensive training to successfully rig critical infrastructure with precise explosive yields, and replacing them is not as simple as drafting new infantrymen from the reserves. The sudden absence of this specific team means that whatever major structural target they were assigned to destroy will remain standing for the foreseeable future, allowing Ukrainian logistical convoys to continue flowing across the river delta uninterrupted. Furthermore, the loss of such a significant quantity of high-grade explosives in a single, catastrophic flash puts an immense strain on the already stretched Russian supply lines, forcing their regional commanders to completely rethink their approach to area denial in the Kherson region while looking over their shoulders. Beyond the immediate physical destruction of the aluminum patrol boat and its lethal cargo, the psychological fallout from this strike ripples across the entire Russian front line. The surviving units operating in the contested river delta are now acutely aware that the airspace above them is practically owned by an invisible, silent predator equipped with high-definition thermal optics. This profound technological asymmetry completely shatters the illusion of nighttime or early morning concealment. Every time a Russian logistical truck moves supplies or a repurposed vessel attempts to cross the water, the soldiers on board must grapple with the terrifying mathematical probability that a 23-kilogram laser-guided munition is already gliding silently toward their coordinates. This constant, suffocating paranoia forces the Russian command to drastically alter their operational behavior, pushing them to rely on heavier, slower, and far more predictable armored convoys that are easier to track and intercept. The Ukrainian forces have essentially weaponized the sky itself, using the mere threat of the Bayraktar UAV to herd their adversaries into making fatal logistical errors out of pure, unadulterated fear of the unseen. Ultimately, the swift and brutal elimination of the Sabotage team on the Kherson shoreline serves as a masterclass in the ruthless efficiency of 21st-century combat. We are witnessing the definitive end of an era where military superiority was strictly defined by the sheer volume of unguided artillery shells or the mass mobilization of ground troops. Instead, the modern battlefield is entirely dominated by the seamless integration of high-altitude surveillance sensors, secure digital communication networks, and relatively cheap, highly precise glide munitions. The ability to patiently monitor a target from 18,000 feet, positively identify a specific threat using multispectral thermal imaging, and completely neutralize that threat in exactly 23 seconds represents a monumental shift in tactical doctrine.